field through alternative routes rather than a bachelor's degree. It's time to tear the paper ceiling and see the stars beyond it. Find out how you can make part of your talent strategy at tearthepaperceiling.org. Brought to you by Opportunity at Work and the Ad Council.
I know that a lot of times, Mom, it might not seem like I'm listening to you, but I am. I hear you. And what you say really does matter to me.
I mean, let's be honest. No kid likes rules, but I get why we have them. I hear you, and I know it's because you care.
For more information about talking with your kids about underage use of alcohol and other drugs, visit underagedrinking.samhsa.gov.
Sponsored by DHHS and aired in cooperation with the Nebraska Broadcasters Association and this station.
Okay, kids, Dad's gonna teach you how today. First, spread your feet apart. Then, pump your knee, nod your head, shake your hips, and bite your lip ever so slightly. Now, put one in the air, point it with the other hand. I call that the rock stop.
Dance like a dad. It's a great way to make a moment with your kids.
Now, make a face like it just smells something bad.
Visit FUD.gov, brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services and the Ad Council.
Hi, this is Pastor Tom. Did you know there's a place kids can seek out help when they're away from home and something goes wrong? They find themselves in a difficult spot or even a dangerous situation. Maybe another child is bullying them or a stranger is following them. Perhaps on a date and things just go bad. In Lincoln, here's where they can find help. It's called Safe Place. Safe Place is a national program for children taking place in thousands of cities across the United States. The People City mission is sponsoring this program in our community and set up a number of businesses, fire stations, schools, and nonprofits around the city to become safe locations where kids can seek out help. They just need to look for the big yellow sign that says Safe Place on it. Once and ask for help. We will be quickly connected to them and ensure they make it back home or whatever resources are needed. If you'd like to find out more about Safe Place and ways in which you can get involved, just go to pcmlincoln.org. Remember, when we all do a little, we change a lot.
This is Bigger Than the Score with Peter Ferguson from Lincoln Public Schools on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
All right, welcome to 93.7 The Ticket. This is Bigger Than the Score. I'm Peter Ferguson with Peter Ferguson BHS LLC. And as they always say on the ones and two, we got Harrison wearing his Bears stuff. He must be ready for the NFL season.
Oh, yeah.
It's the disappointment that comes with a Bears season as well.
Oh, okay. As a Cowboys fan sitting across the table from me right now, I can't believe you said that.
Hey, I just got to say playoffs. All we can say is we won our last preseason game against the Raiders with our non-starters, Dak on the sidelines talking to Tom Brady. That's all the inspiration that you need right there.
If that's the amount of talent you're sitting with, and that's the finish line, I'll let you have it.
Oh, well, hey, we're excited to have everybody here today. It's Sunday. What is it, August 27th already?
Yeah, game day's right around the corner, which is insane.
Yeah, and I was going to say high school sports and everything kicking off. Harrison, if people want to get in touch with us or kind of send a note out of affirmation, how do they do that?
Yeah, absolutely. Tons of ways to engage in the show. Again, you can join us on the Sartor Heyman text line, 402-464-5685, as well as we're streaming on Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, Twitter, and Allo channel 951. Again, you can comment on those streams as well, and we'll have some scholars in here as well. So great way to put a face to the voice.
Well, and been an awesome week in a lot of different ways. I know the ticket's been busy as well. I know we're getting geared up for a lot of different things. Volleyball Day in Nebraska, we'll talk a little bit about that. Oh, yeah. Husker Game Day, but y'all were out at the air show. We live out on West A, and so got to hear all the I want to say tryouts. I was going to say you don't try out for an air show. It's not like
I hope you got it down by then.
Yeah. You go ahead. Hey, okay, everybody, next up. You didn't do so well. We're going to go ahead and take the next person. But Blue Angels out there always brings the crowd in, and they've done some nice, I don't want to say PR, but just some nice engagements across the city, as well as those. And the ticket was out there. I know they're going to be broadcasting all in house though, because of some of the signals. So you want to kind of stay.
Yeah, absolutely. So for all those curious, we put it on our social media, so you can go find it there. But we are going to be all in studio today. There'll still be some goodies out there from the Ticket 10 in case you want to grab anything, but we will be in studio. So nothing streaming live out there. But again, we'll still have all the shows just in studio, just with the Wi-Fi. We're not able to give the best quality out there. So just trial and error there. And then, maybe next year we'll get 2 cell phone towers out there.
Yeah.
That was kind of the problem. So again, yesterday you had it for about a few hours, but just overall, again, be tuned into the streams. You'll be able to listen all day long that way, or just the Ticket app. You can walk around at the air show with your AirPods in and listen to Ticket that way. But again, we will not be out there today.
No, and best way to do it. I've been using the app when I've done
Yeah, that's the
traveling
way
out
I
to
do
Western
it.
Nebraska or whatever else. And phenomenal. You had football on Friday night.
Yep.
The kickoff with Jay and Nick, and great to listen to that as well. And just kind of Lincoln Northwest and the Pius game, and so they're going to be doing that throughout the season. So congratulations. I know Pius took the win, but Northwest a lot better. And Coach
Yeah, that's
Brian
only
Locke-
year 2
Yeah,
under the
yeah.
program. For those guys, I think you're just looking for development. Like
Yeah.
no one's expecting that team to. I mean, Pius is a good program too,
Yeah.
right? There's some development, but honest, I don't know if you got a chance to watch the game. I was actually surprised. I thought
Okay.
Lincoln Northwest looked a lot better.
Right.
I wasn't expecting a win. Obviously, be great for them, but I honestly saw a lot of improvement. They just look bigger. And again, it's just year 2 under the program. It's going to take time.
Well, you got individuals interested, and then I guess that was the week 0 game, but then you had this week, you had Southwest and Lincoln High. And so
Okay, yeah.
Southwest, and I apologize, I got my weeks a little bit mixed up, but Southwest went ahead and took the win on that one, and just replacing a lot of starters. I think Coach Trainowicz's first game at the helm, and so congratulations to the Silverhawks. And then you just had a lot of other things. You had golf going on. There was a meet out in Kearney. I know a number of individuals, and so congratulations. Isabel Elder took first on that, but Ellie Hunnins, who will be on the show here later in September, got her booked, and PJ Reach, and had a nice showing on that background and really fought through with some great attitude and effort. So I want to give credit out to them. I know a lot of things were postponed because of the heat, unfortunately, and then yesterday rain kind of kicked in, so it was amazing. It went from like 110 to it was so saturated you couldn't even do any softball. So some of the LPS stuff, and then volleyball. And I think that's going to be the name of the ticket here coming forward. You had all the area schools kind of kick off, whether it's Thursday with some official volleyball going on. And so, congratulations to a lot of those scholars and just representing in some of the triangulars, but also some of those individual matches as well. So, the area is kind of, it's a buzz, not just down there downtown on the UNL campus, but, area schools like Wesleyan and Doane and Hastings and Concordia and all them. I also got to give a shout out to my alma mater. Pulled out the improbable comeback win. They opened up at Peru State, and I know this didn't make the ticker, but it's going to have to. Coach Matt Franzen had the opportunity to go out to Hastings and talk to their football team and their U Create team, and they were down 10 with, I believe, 3:33 left in the fourth quarter.
Oh wow!
Kicked 2 onside kicks, scored, and then kicked another onside kick. And you don't get 2 in a row. There was a penalty, an offside on one. And then when they kicked the second one, got it clean and ended up winning by 6 in overtime.
Oh my gosh, that's incredible.
Yeah.
So we got 2 onsides in a row?
Two onside, 2 onsides in a row. One had a penalty and then the other one. So congratulations to Matt Franzen and the Hastings College Broncos on a tremendous, improbable opening win as well. So the rest of the week's, been busy. Like I said, I got the opportunity to go out to Hastings. I got to give a shout out. I'm going out to talk to College of St. Mary's, the Flames, at their Flame Fest here later this evening. So celebrate their female scholar athletes. And with that, you got volleyball day in Nebraska coming up on Wednesday.
Yeah, where's your excitement level for that? Obviously, your daughter is going to be part of it. I'm curious.
Yeah, you know what? I'm a little biased. I had to wear the blue today, so I had to wear the Cowboys hat and then also the Loper gear. She's a 5th-year scholar coming in, finished her work and doing her grad work at Kearney, transferred from Northwest Missouri State. Excited in just a lot of ways. I was talking to our young scholars out in the lobby, somebody asked, like, man, do you have any boys in your family? You always dreamed about maybe them playing at the stadium and this, that, and the other. And I was like, no, we don't. Just that, we have our daughter. And I think it just says, like, everybody can do big things. And I have to give credit as I watched the public radio. They had a preview on everything on just how this all kind of came to be. That, Trev Alberts, John Cook, the other coaches involved, Rick Squires, Wayne State, UNO, that they saw this as just an opportunity, not just for UNL, but they saw it as an opportunity to showcase for young scholars and young ladies, but also just everybody in general, that big things can happen for every person. And it's bigger than the score. It's going to be much bigger than the sum. And so excitement level is huge in a lot of ways, just because she gets that experience, but also all those young ladies. I mean, those rosters, outside of UNL are pretty much filled with Nebraska females.
Yeah.
I bet you 70% of the rosters outside of UNL are filled with Nebraska young ladies. And you're right, John Cook said, like, not everybody can come to UNL. He would love to take everybody, but not everybody can. And so it's going to showcase that there's great programs, but there's also great opportunities, outside of kind of just one umbrella. And I'm appreciative for the university for hosting. I'm appreciative of the community coming out and showing out. And just a little bias. It's my daughter's birthday that day as well. So she said it's going to be, we said it's going to be the biggest birthday party that she will ever get. We will not be inviting that many people to her wedding. But if the crowd wants to go ahead and break out in a happy birthday, we will definitely appreciate that.
See if we can get that going. But yeah, no, I'm excited as well. You kind of said it, but it is really cool to see, because I think especially when you talk about Nebraska volleyball, there's a lot of depth in Nebraska. And you said it, not everyone can play for the Cornhuskers. It's like everyone gonna go play for Alabama. It's like it's a hard program to get into. You can only take the very best of the best, but this is going to allow us to see all the depth that Nebraska has, because I really do believe, I'm a big believer in that, like top to bottom, all our volleyball programs here in Nebraska are really good. And we're going to have an opportunity to see them all play in Memorial Stadium, which is just incredible. I'm excited to see that. What's the halftime performance again? Did we ever get that official announcement on who the artist is?
Well, it's Raph. It's Raph and Rico. It's Raph and Rico
I'm gonna have to leave
from 93.7 The Ticket. They're gonna go ahead and they're gonna go ahead and hold it down. I'm not what the concert afterwards is the McCreary concert, right?
I think so. Yeah. It's country artist.
Yeah, Chris. I don't even from. What was his Christian McCreary or something like that.
That
I know there was
right.
some.
I'm not a country fan, so it sounds good to me.
Yeah. But Raft and Rico will go ahead and provide any halftime entertainment between sets. So you can probably see Raft better than you can see Rico.
But again, so excited. And before we preview the show, I guess, is there anything you want to point out excited for this fall? Then we'll go ahead and preview what we have ahead before we go to break.
Yeah, I just think get out and support. This is, and I'm appreciative of those who've supported the show, Bigger Than the Score, also 93.7 The Ticket. We are having a location move here in the middle of September. And so that's going to, increase exposure, but also that support. But, oftentimes we talk about those varsity levels, UNL, get out and support those area colleges. You got, Southeast Community College, you got Wesleyan, you got Concordia, and you talked about great, sports across the board. I definitely support UNL, but even in the high school ranks, go out and support those freshmen and reserve and junior varsity teams as well. I mean, those are the individuals when they're coming up, all of a sudden you're going to be like, okay, man, I saw them here. You see that progression, you see that work that they put in. And honestly, they put in just as much work oftentimes as those varsity levels and don't get the attention. So I always just kind of encourage people, support that varsity level, but get out to the reserve game. If you can get there early, go see the JV game, go see a freshman level game. They would jump up and down if there were 100, 200 people there and people besides parents just coming to watch and saying, hey, I just wanted to take this in and show my support for young people across this community.
Yeah, you said it. I remember being in some of those, junior varsity games through basketball, and it's a lot of fun when you actually get a fan base in there.
Yeah.
It definitely just kind of changes the environment, and you never know who flashes on the pan. If you're one of those spectators, you're like, I'm going to be back, watch this guy continues to grow his career, because, if he's showing out in those freshman, junior varsity games, whatever it may be, it's kind of fun to watch that whole process. Just support any way you can. But we got a little bit of time left when we preview what we have ahead before we go to break.
Yeah, no, again, I always say excited in a lot of ways to hear on 93.7 The Ticket when we talk about Bigger Than the Score, but I have two scholars that I've known in different capacities for some time. I feel like I'm getting, I say seasoned, not old, but we've got Shandy. Shandy is a senior over at Lincoln East High School and is multi-involved, and she'll share a little bit about that, but really have gotten to see her over a couple of years just explore and grow and phenomenal on the court, but I would say even better off of it. And so I'm excited to hear her story. And then we've got Marin, and Marin is a senior also at Creed. And I didn't know they both knew each other from a past life, but Marin, my connection with her, I knew her before she was even her.
Okay.
Her dad I played college basketball with at Hastings College, and we came in the same year. And I never told this story. Marion probably doesn't know, but I remember Coach Trader said, I got this other guy coming in. You guys played both the same position. Now her dad's like 6'9" and I'm 6'3". So he was like, we both play the same position, end quote. That means Pete couldn't shoot. Okay. Basically he rebounded a lot. And he says he's not really skilled. So we're working on him, but you'll be okay. And then I come in, this cat's dunking, turn around, doing stuff. And I'm like, you gotta be kidding me. He worked with him all summer, but her dad and her mom have been phenomenal individuals. So I'm glad to have her on the show and representing the Creek Cardinals out there, as we've had, I think, Marley Stones.
A while
ago
on
during
her
the
as well.
Mother's Day edition, who's now out at Wayne State. So shout out to her. So we've got these two scholars on and excited about it.
And I do have one from the text line too. I want to shout out Bryce because he helped me out. I was curious who's performing. Scotty McCreery. Who's on American Idol as well. So thanks for clearing that up for me.
The Voice, American Idol. It's all good.
Again, 402-464-5685. This is Bigger Than the Score. I'm Harrison. That's Pete Ferguson. We got a couple guests on next. We'll catch you guys on the other side of the break.
You don't think about your roof very often, but you should never take it for granted. Roofing Service Company takes every measure to provide you with the high-quality roofing solution. Whether it's a new roof installation, roof repair, or a re-roofing project, their overall goal is to provide you with a pleasant experience and a long-lasting roof. If you have a siding or gutters, they're your place too. Visit roofingservicecompany.com for more info today.
General contractors, business owners, property owners. The success of your business requires doing business with the right people. And the right people, when it comes to drywall, optical ceilings, and specialty products, are at Premier Drywall. Kevin and his crew will give your project the response and attention it deserves.
You'll get all of the attention to detail and quality that you would expect from someone in the business for 30 years. For your new builds, build-outs, or renovations, reach out to Kevin. Kevin at premierdw.com. Premier Drywall in Lincoln.
Fue pintor más de 30 años. Cuando me dijo que se le estaban olvidando las cosas, fue difícil. Un día me dijeron que pintara el marco del lado por dentro y pinté el lado de afuera.
Yo le diría a la gente que le diga a su familia lo que está pasando con él.
Si algo se nota diferente, podría ser Alzheimer. Es momento de hablarlo. Visita alz.org/nuestras historias para saber más. Un mensaje de The Alzheimer's Association y Ad Council.
Serve Nebraska believes that volunteers are part of what makes Nebraska great. Each year, the Step Forward Awards honors volunteers from across the state who serve their communities in outstanding ways. We hope you'll join us this year at the Step Forward Awards luncheon on October 27th in Omaha. Help us thank volunteers with a celebration to remember. To register, visit serve.nebraska.gov and click Register Now. We hope to see you there. Paid for by Serve Nebraska. Aired with the Nebraska Broadcasters Association and this station.
Summer is over. It's time to settle into your back-to-school routine. I'm Jenny Benson, president of the Nebraska State Education Association. As teachers, we're excited to see our students again. Parents, help your child. Set a time and a quiet place for homework and establish bedtime routines so your child will be rested and ready to learn. Help us make a bright new beginning for our students this year.
Sponsored by the Nebraska State Education Association, aired by the Nebraska Broadcasters Association in this station.
If you're a veteran or know a veteran who's having thoughts of suicide or experiencing a mental health or substance use crisis, the Veterans Crisis Line provides direct connection to free, confidential, and compassionate support. Dial 988, then press 1, and you'll be connected to a trained crisis counselor who will listen, provide support, and connect you to additional resources if needed. Thank you for your service. We owe you our support. Dial 988, then press 1. Sponsored by the Nebraska Department of Veterans Affairs, aired with the Nebraska Broadcasters Association and this station.
Serve Nebraska believes that volunteers are part of what makes it great. Each year, it honors across the state who serve their communities in outstanding. We hope you'll join us this year at the Step Forward Awards luncheon on October 6th in Lincoln. To register, visit serve.nebraska.gov and click Register Now. We hope to see you there. Paid for by Serve Nebraska, aired with the Nebraska Broadcasters Association and this station.
As an 18-year-old, I let my mistakes kind of take over my life. I was 0.5 credits away from completing high school, and I didn't do it.
10 years later, at age 28, Jackie finished her high school diploma.
When I found out that I was pregnant, I know that I had to do something for myself if I wanted to make her a better person and provide a better life. My family never stopped pushing for me to be better because they knew what I could become and who I could become as a person. My support team is amazing. The educational director, my sister, and even my daughter has just been more than the support that I could ask for. I've been given an opportunity and I'm just thankful for it.
No one gets a diploma alone. If you're thinking of finishing your high school diploma, you have help. Find free adult education classes near you at finishyourdiploma.org. That's finishyourdiploma.org. Brought to you by the Dollar General Literacy Foundation and the Ad Council.
Alexa, play 93.7 The Ticket.
Okay, playing 93.7 The Ticket.
Alexa, turn down the lights.
The lights.
Alexa, order a pizza. The big one. All the toppings.
Are you sure that's a good idea?
Alexa.
That's a lot of pizza for just one man.
Alexa, just do it. Stop judging me, just do it.
As you wish.
Thanks, Alexa. You're my best friend. Back to Bigger Than the Score with Peter Ferguson from Lincoln Public Schools on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
All right, welcome back to 93.7 The Ticket. This is Bigger Than the Score. This is Peter Ferguson and joined on the board with Harrison. We are just got done with the first segment and rolling into the second with our two phenomenal guests. And we've got Shandy and we've got Marin here. I kind of did a brief intro on how I know them. How y'all doing today?
Good. I'm good.
Yeah, they both got, see, now they're a little bit more subdued. They say, did you just call us old? Before I was like, they're old hats at this. They've done it. And they're like, did you just call us old? If we're calling, you said, if I'm calling you old, then what am I? Is that what you said?
Yep.
Awesome. Well, hey, as we roll into this, why don't first off, you tell us a little bit about who you are. Shandy, first off, just, who are you? Have you always gone to school here? Who's in your family?
All right. So I'm Shandy. I've always lived in Lincoln. I currently go to Lincoln East, as you already said. But before that, I went to Moore Middle School. And even before that, I went to Roper Elementary School. So shout out to them.
Okay.
And even farther back, I went to KinderCare for preschool. I mean, however far back you want to go. But in my family, I currently live with both my parents, my mom and dad. Shout out to them. And my dog, can't forget about her.
Okay.
And my grandma, she lives with us too.
Fantastic. You want to give them names so those people, if they're listening, so they know how to identify themselves when they walk through the store later this afternoon and be like, yeah, Shandy shouted you out.
Yep. My grandma, she's Deb. My mom, Kendi, and my dad, Follow.
Okay. Okay. Dog's name?
Tossie.
Tossie. All right. Shout out to Tossie as well. Marin, what about you?
I'm Marin. I lived in Crete my entire life. I go to Crete High School. Gone to Crete my whole life. I currently live with my parents, Eric and Julie, and then I've got older brothers, Sam and Ethan, who are in college.
Okay. And something unique about your older brothers?
They're twins.
Okay. Okay. And any pets in the house?
I've got two dogs, Hugo and Lucy.
Okay. Okay. I think we had didn't we have ducks in here earlier in the station?
Yeah, there was I want to say it was last week.
Yeah.
Bill Bush brought some ducks in.
Brought ducks in. So they're no longer here. So we thought we might be
they
able
got
to
a
add
home.
them to
Shout out
your
Rebecca. Rebecca gave them a home. So shout out to the ticket listener.
So Marin, let's start with you. What are you involved in? I know we talked a little bit earlier about Volleyball Day in Nebraska, but what are some of the things you're involved in over at Crete?
So I play volleyball, basketball, and then do track. And I'm on student council, NHS, and FSA, Future Scientists of America.
And real quick, why did you choose some of those things? It seems like a lot, and you could easily, just if you don't see her stature, she's tall, okay, and so you could easily probably just say I want to do one thing. But is that something that's necessary in Crete, or is that something like you say, you know what, I really just want to kind of be involved in a number of things?
Well, kind of to start, Crete's a Class B school, so we're smaller, and so it's kind of like you do a lot, you do whatever you want, can. And then, so it kind of started out that way, but as I've kind of gotten into my senior year, gone through my high school years, it's just kind of like found what I want, found what I like, and just keep with it.
Awesome. And Shandy, what about you?
I'm the same as Marin. We play the same three sports. I play volleyball, basketball, and track. I'm involved in the equity cadre at through the district and through school as well.
Mhm.
And then I'm also a part of NSHSS, which is National Society of High School Scholars.
Okay. And again, same kind of question to you. Why do you choose to be involved in the number of things that you're involved in? When knowing you can, she said Class B school is a little smaller, you're a Class A. Is it necessary, or is it something that you just kind of enjoy doing?
I mean, it's something that I enjoy doing on even a smaller aspect or even a bigger one. Just making a difference in any aspect that I can is the whole point of it. I mean, all sports, I love being around people and just giving them advice or them giving advice to me to make each other better.
So, as you all both talked about some of your involvements, like you talked about one of them, just talk about one of them, and then why did you choose to get involved in that one? Why does that stand out to you?
So the equity cadre, Kaylee Danker, I believe she was already on the show.
Yeah,
before.
she was one of the first
Yep.
episodes. Yeah.
Yep. She introduced it to me and she brought me to one, and then I never stopped going. I went to every single one after that. And the reason that I got involved was because I loved how we impacted each other. It was the little things that we could agree on, or the different perspectives that we saw. It was so eye-opening, and just bringing that out to other people and letting them know, like, this is what we see and you need to learn about this.
Fantastic. Baron, what about you?
I feel like mostly, like, growing up, I was 4 years younger than my brothers. So by the time they graduated, I was just getting into high school. And so, like, I just kind of like followed what they did at first, like, oh, they were on student council, so
Right.
I'll be on student council. And then from there, just kind of like, I kind of grew into my own area, figured out that, oh, I kind of like being able to help make decisions and help kind of figure out what we want to do with the school at this point, and like how to make it a better place for everybody.
Awesome. So, as you talked about kind of your community and your school, tell us a little bit, for those that may not know, about Crete. What makes Crete so special? What makes it unique? And what are some of the things that, for you, as you kind of maybe go on to that next stage in life, that you'll take with you and says, like, Crete was very essential in being a part of who I am?
I mean, it's just like a huge community that supports everybody. Like, we had a volleyball game on Thursday, and there was the younger kids were there. Everybody, all the younger volleyball players, all their parents showed up. All, like, the student section, we had a huge student section. Then Friday at the football game, same thing. All the younger kids are there, all the parents, all the student section's huge. It's just everybody supports everybody, and like, you got nothing else to do but go and watch the teams. So like, everybody just goes and does that because that's what we do.
I think that's the awesome part, because I just, I remember that when I was younger, kind of going in and you're seeing individuals, is like, okay, one day I get to be that person. You're not really putting two and two together, but you're like, okay, I'm just going to be in that space. And then it's like, I want to be like that person. And then you're actually there. And so now you're looking back, kind of seeing first graders, second graders kind of running around, looking up to you like you're everybody's All-American, which you are. So Shandy, what about you? Tell us a little bit, what makes the East High community so special?
I think it's the same thing that Marin said. Even though we're on a bigger scale, everybody shows up for everything. Even middle schoolers who are going to feed into this high school, like, they show up to volleyball games. And we talk about future Spartans, them showing up. And there's a student section, parents, even your whole entire family, cousins, aunts, uncles, everybody's showing up because they want to support you and they believe in you.
Well, and I think it's awesome. I saw online, one of the tweets, I think from Thursday's game or whatever, and they said, like, the East High Scholar section. And full disclosure, I'm an alumni. I won't go into the year, but I'm an East High alum. But, I remember those, stands being full, for whatever it was. And so either the football team or student council or the band coming out. So that's always great to see. To be honest, it's taking after some of those smaller towns, kind of reverting back to that, because I think we had the lead for a while and it kind of went away. So, oftentimes we get on here and we just talk about just relationships. And so you talked about your family earlier, and you mentioned the people that are kind of close to you, even the pets. We asked the question, why do relationships matter? And so can you tell us, why do relationships matter? And then we're going to ask you about a relationship that you have that really matters to you.
Mm-hmm. So relationships are a huge part of my life because those are the people that I depend on. Like, so through volleyball, for example, those people are who I lean on, and they're the ones that help me through my mental game, which is something that I really struggle with. Like this last couple of days, we had a couple games and I was struggling mentally and you could see it. But my coach out there, shout out to her, Coach Gang, she helped me through everything. Even my teammates, like those relationships are the reason why I was able to get out from stuck in the mud and play like who I actually am.
Awesome. Marin, why do relationships matter to you so much?
They kind of help develop that trust, like our coach, she tries to get to know us on a like personal level, and then that just makes us be able to trust her. She is always there for you, always wanting to know how your day was, are you doing okay, and then wanting just to take that into account when we're at practice, because she understands that like it's more than just volleyball half the time.
Awesome.
And just being able to trust her and know that she's in my corner is always something that makes me feel good about volleyball in general.
So as you've all talked about the importance of it, what's a relationship that you've had? You've both mentioned your coaches, but what's a relationship you've had growing up that has really impacted you? We oftentimes talk about the quote, "My angel." I forget what people have said, people have done, but I always remember how people have made you feel. What's a relationship that's made you feel and empowered you to this day?
I would have to say my mom. She's always there for me. I mean, growing up, she was at home. She was always taking me to school, picking me up. And so it just having her always there. And then just even as I've grown up, still in my corner, still always cheering me on no matter what I'm doing. And it's just super impactful for me.
Awesome. Fantastic.
Same as Marin, but I also want to shout out my dad. He is a huge supporter of me. He's never missed a game. He works day and night and he still shows up, but he's also the loudest there. You come to a game, you will hear him.
Okay.
Yes, everybody knows. Everybody walks past me. He's like, "Was that your dad in the section over there?" And I was like, "Yep, that's him." But he's always taught me to stay humble and be who I am and always make a difference on the court. But yeah.
So I think that's awesome in a lot of ways when they get asked like that's your pops and they make a statement when they come to the place.
Yeah, it's always my mom always took the belt for me. Between my mom and my dad, is usually my mom. I think every kid kind of has it. It's like whether it's their mom or dad, there's usually one parent. It's like, okay, if that one comes to the game, everyone's gonna know where they're sitting. But I do want to get the one from the text line here because we also had a listener. He called you out. We got Eric. I hope I'm saying his last name right. Eric Razgershak.
Razgershak. Yeah,
okay.
Yeah, that's Marin's dad.
And he's calling you out. He said Pete graduated in 1991. He's an old man.
Wow. I appreciate that, Shaq. That, like we said, we called him Shaq in college. And we still call him Shaq to this day. And there's people like, "Man, you played with Shaq?" And I was like, yeah, I played with Shaq. And then we just kind of blur the picture out, make it a little bit wider. So the third graders love it when I say I played with a Shaq. So shout out to Eric. Marin, you talked about like the relationship, you talked about family. Just some advice. What is some advice that you would give to, I'm going to start with just peers, people that are your age, I'd say between kindergarten and 12th grade. What's some advice that you would give to them as they go on this journey?
Find your support system and lean on it. It gets tough, it gets hard, but having a support system there who's going to be there every step of the way is something huge. And that's how I got to, at least to the point I'm at now.
Wow, I like that. And just finding who those individuals are going to be in your circle. Oftentimes people saying that support. Shandy, what about you? What's some advice that you would have for your peers?
Control the controllables, because you always try to do something that is so far out of your reach or something that is someone else's controllable, but worrying about your controllables and who you are makes a difference, because you are going to be successful in life, especially when Marin said leaning on those others.
Wow. Well, I've heard that a lot. And as of late, probably here in the last couple of years on that control the controllables. My dad was on a team. That was one of the things that they had as well. So advice, Shane, I'm going to start with you. Advice that you would have for parents, those that are a little bit more seasoned.
I would say let your children decide, because let me explain. So when I was growing up, my parents put me in everything, but when I started developing and deciding what I really wanted, it was finally choosing what I wanted and where I wanted to go with it, because forcing your child to do something is not going to satisfy them. It's only going to satisfy your needs. So letting your children choose what they want to do and what they want to be lets them have that joy and find that happiness later on in life.
Wow. I think we've heard that consistently throughout, is just kind of providing that opportunity for it to be your journey, not ours. Marin, what about you?
Super similar to her. Just when you let your kid decide, support them in whatever it is. Have, it just creates a better relationship. My parents, whatever I do, they support me, and it just makes me feel so much better about what I'm doing. Makes me feel better having them there, knowing that they're okay with what I'm doing, but also happy for me and what I'm deciding to do.
Awesome. So as we get ready, we're going to take a quick break, but then when we come back, I'm going to ask you for some advice that you'd have for the community. And then we talked a little bit earlier, both of you are involved in volleyball. What does something like Volleyball Day in Nebraska, mean to you all as high school scholars? And how can that impact, others kind of moving forward, not for the greater state, but also for female athletes? You'll be back on 93.7 The Ticket. This is Bigger Than the Score with Pete Ferguson. We'll see you after this break.
Hi, everyone. Kendall Warnock with A1 Automotive in downtown Lincoln. If you're looking for an automotive repair facility you can genuinely trust, we would be grateful for the opportunity to earn your business repairing your vehicle. We have ASE master technicians and qualified for a variety of vehicles from Hondas to Porsches, Jaguars to Toyotas, and Chevrolets to Fords. We pride ourselves in customer service and relationships, and we would be grateful for the opportunity to serve you. Give us a call at 402-477-4660. A1 Automotive, always honest answers.
Load up on meat and more this summer at the Mercado by Certified Piedmontese at 84th and Havelock. This week's specials through August 29th are $2 off Certified Piedmontese sausages and brats. And don't forget to check out their Fridays this week and every week. Plus, big news, they have 2 new locations now open at 30th and Yankee Hill in Lincoln and 168th and Maple in Omaha. Get to the Mercado today for the best meat in town.
Hi, Sean Callahan here of HuskerOnline.com, inviting you to join us here on 93.7 The Ticket every Saturday morning now. In our new time, we're on from 8 to 9 with the weekly Husker Online radio show. We'll give you the latest in recruiting. We'll talk about what's going on with both football, basketball, and we'll probably share a few stories from the inside. It's every Saturday morning right here on 93.7 The Ticket. It's the Husker Online radio show from 8 to 9 a.m.
Victor deployed for the first time to Afghanistan in 2003. At 4 a.m, my phone rang. They said, "I regret to inform you that your husband was wounded in action." Victor sustained a moderate traumatic brain injury. I was doing school full time, and I was also then caring for Victor. One of the most important elements of caregiving is taking care of yourself. I just didn't want to forget that I also had goals and that I also had a life. What I did is I challenged Victor to meet me halfway. There are almost 6 million military and veteran caregivers across the nation. We have our own journey, and we can fulfill that journey at the same time that we are helping our loved one.
Visit mp.org/caregiving for a free military veterans guide to navigate your caregiving journey and better care for your loved one and yourself. Brought to you by AARP and the Ad Council.
Dance Dad. It's a great way to make a moment with your kids. First, I hold my hands out like they're on a steering wheel. Then I look over my shoulder. Next, I put it in reverse. Visit fatherhood.gov. Brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services and the Ad Council.
Summer is over. It's time to settle into your back-to-school routine. I'm Jenny Benson, president of the Nebraska State Education Association. As teachers, we're excited to see our students again. Parents, help your child. Set a time and a quiet place for homework and establish bedtime routines so your child will be rested and ready to learn. Help us make a bright new beginning for our students this year.
Sponsored by the Nebraska State Education Association, aired by the Nebraska Broadcasters Association in this station.
Mario fue pintor más años. Cuando me dijo que se le estaban olvidando las cosas, fue difícil. Un día me dijeron que pintara el marco del lado por dentro y pinté el lado de afuera.
Le diría a la gente que le diga a su familia lo que está pasando con él.
Si algo se nos frente, podría ser Alzheimer. Es momento de hablarlo. Visita alz.org/, nuestras historias para saber más. Un mensaje de the Alzheimer's Association y the Ad Council.
I think it's just vapor. Vaping is safer than smoking, isn't it?
There's really not even that much nicotine in them, right?
One vape pod has as much nicotine as 1 pack of cigarettes.
My kid
knows it's dangerous. 5.4 million American kids vape, and most think it's harmless. Get your head out of the cloud. Talk to your kid about vaping. Visit talkaboutvaping.org vaping.org. It's talkaboutvaping.org. Brought to you by the American Lung Association and the Ad Council.
Back to Bigger Than the Score with Peter Ferguson from Lincoln Public Schools on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
All right, welcome back to 93.7 The Ticket. This is Bigger Than the Score. This is Peter Ferguson, and I join on the board. And thanks again, as always, to Harrison for getting up in the morning and making sure everything sounds great for everybody.
Oh yeah, absolutely. It's always a good time on Sunday mornings. I will say, when this originally started out, it was just Sunday morning pancakes, and it was fine. It was a good show, but I was like, man, it's only 2 hours. But now we're at the point where we have Inside the Huddle. We go to Bigger Than the Score, Fitness Fanatics, and then we go to The Breeze, and then you got Ricky C. Simmons, Husker Rewind. Sundays have just become awesome programming days for me. So it is. I enjoy coming out here every morning. And again, this is kind of a feel-good hour, so it makes you feel good about the Lincoln community. And again, ticketfm.com in case you missed any of those shows, you want to catch up or join in on this show, 402-464-5685. That is the Sartor Heyman text line, as well as we're streaming on Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, Twitter, and Allo channel 951. Again, a great way to put a face to the voice, but we got a little bit of time here left. So again, feel free to put in those questions.
Awesome. And hey, just a quick programming note. Next week, I am going to be gone. I'm going to be in Utah. So the Lopers are playing in a tournament there. And so instead of trying to figure out the stream and the time zone differences, we're going to have Phil Maynard, but also we're going to have Antonio, who's been one of the guests. He is a 6th grade scholar over at one of the area middle schools. And Antonio is going to be the host. And so just talked to him yesterday, and he's excited, and talked to Harrison. And so we're excited to have that. So please tune in, support that young man as he's going to crush it next week at 8 a.m. on Bigger Than the Score. So back to Shandy and Marin. We were asking you advice that you'd give to different people. And I think we got one for the peers. We got one for the parents. What is a piece of advice that you give to educators?
I keep doing your job. I think that's super important. Just keep being that support system for those students. I know it's like nobody wants to go back to school. It's a rough time back at school, but them doing their job and continuing to support them makes them want to come back and makes them want to learn.
Oh, I think that's huge. That's huge. Because like I said, every day should be like the first day of school. I saw a tweet on somebody said, like, what makes people keep running back for the second day, for that next day? So good point. Marin, what about you?
Make those relationships. I feel like my favorite classes, the classes that I don't necessarily dread going to, are the ones where the teachers make that effort to have a relationship with me that's outside of school, get to know me a little more personally. And that always makes me excited to go to that class and excited to have that teacher.
Awesome. So just, brief, what future plans do you have for yourself?
I am undecided yet. Most likely going to be going pre-med.
Wow. That's a hard undecided right there. Like, I'm undecided, but most likely pre-med.
Yes. I don't know where or anything, but I think I'm going to go that way.
Okay, fantastic. Do you, as far as the season and everything else, what does that look like for you? Do you have any aspirations or looking at possibly continue on with volleyball, basketball, track?
Looking to continue on with volleyball, maybe just exploring my options, all of them. So
Fantastic.
excited to start making decisions here soon.
Awesome. Shandy, what about you?
So I actually recently committed to Concordia
Okay.
about 2 weeks ago. So I plan on going there, and I'm majoring in wilderness and organismal biology because my dream job is to be a marine biologist. So my plan is to major in biology and then go to grad school, study abroad, and then see where life takes me after that. But yep.
We've not heard that major before. So
No.
that's phenomenal. I was going to ask you, like, what does that align with? And so you explained that so well. What about Concordia drew you in regards to that? Do they have a program for that? Or I guess we're just not aware.
Yeah. So I was exploring my options on the coast at first, like that's where you're going to go for marine biology, obviously. And I was still talking to smaller schools here, and I was going to settle for PT school or sports management or something like that. And I told Concordia, I was like, I want to go here. I love you guys. I love the facility, the faculty, but you just don't have my major. And they wanted me, and they knew that they could make it work. So that's what happened.
Wow. And I think sometimes closed mouths don't get fed. So you, that's kind of a lesson to everybody, is just put it out there into the universe and don't close the door to opportunities that you don't even know exist yet. So congratulations to both of you. Like I said, you're way above where both of us are at. We were just like, if you got basket weaving, glass blowing, that'll work. So, so both of you are involved in volleyball. Your season's just kicked off. you've got something huge coming up here in the state on Wednesday, and it's Volleyball Day in Nebraska. And I'm just kind of curious, like, as you all, one, are both you all going or having the opportunity to go? And then two, what does it mean when you heard something like that's going to happen here in the state of Nebraska as individuals who are volleyball players, fans, and supporters?
So I'm going. My volleyball coach was able to get us, my entire team, tickets.
Wow.
And so we're taking all levels to the game. And I think it's just great for the sport, great for the people, because some of the girls I know on our team like have never seen a volleyball game like that. And to be able to go and watch the D2 schools and then the D1 schools is crazy. And like I've played against some of those girls that are like at Wayne or a couple of them at UNK. And so it's just amazing to be able to go and see them in that big stage.
I think that's cool in itself that there was a commitment from your program to get everybody there so they can see and take in the experience, because it will truly be maybe that once in a lifetime. But when you said even in this state you have individuals who haven't gotten to see, you know, volleyball at that point or at that level, kind of sometimes is amazing in itself. So that's cool. Shandy, what about you?
I am absolutely going.
Okay.
There's no-
If there's practice that day, Shandy will not be there, Coach Ging, just letting you know.
Oh, so she even made practice in the morning. She knew that all of us were going. She's like, okay, we're making practice in the morning. But yep, I'm going. And I think it's great for the community and just for volleyball in general. Like the other coaches, I know the Wisconsin coach, for example, always tweeted out, he was talking about how you can only pay to watch volleyball. It's never streamed like soccer or NFL games or anything like college football games. But this for volleyball is going to be a huge step in the next game to just have volleyball games streamed on basic television and on cable and things like that. So I think it's a great opportunity for volleyball.
So what is the thing you're most looking forward to? Like when you walk in, and just, you know, anticipation for the day, because, you know, like you all know a lot of these young women that are playing, and it's kind of ironic because you look through the rosters, I would have to say outside of Nebraska, about 70%, 75% of these individuals are from Nebraska. So they were at Kearney, they were at Scott, they were at Crete, you know, that at Alliance. And so what is the thing that you're most looking forward to that day?
I think it's going to be the environment and how loud people are cheering and just the welcoming arms that everybody has. Everybody knows that Nebraska fan bases are so loud and they're so happy and cheerful. Like this is going to be amazing for all of those, the Kearney, Wayne State, and UNO and Creighton and all of them. So
Awesome.
I think it's going to be great for them.
Maren, what about you?
Just being a part of like this new like record breaking thing, being able to be part of those 90,000 who got to see those games at Memorial Stadium.
Fantastic. So as you think about that, what is something that you would tell your younger self? You know, as we kind of, you know, I think the individuals that are going to be playing there on Wednesday may have spoken it into existence, saying one day I'm going to be part of something bigger, you know, than what it is today. What's something that you would tell, 30 seconds, something you would tell your younger self?
Don't close all the doors, because leaving those doors open gives you opportunities to do something that you thought you would never do. And just, you never know what to expect. So keep those doors open.
Wow. Maren.
It goes by fast. So just like live in the moment, like looking back on it, it's just freshman year, even like just middle school, elementary school feels so long ago. And just being able to live in the moment and not worry about all the extras and just experience everything now is what I would say.
We've heard that from a couple of different people who just take it in. I think sometimes not only just for scholars to do that, but as parents, you know, sometimes just you know, we always want movement. We always want movement. Okay, I can't wait till that next phase. We can't wait till they go to college. We can't wait till that next game or whatever, but just really taking that moment in. And for me, thank you for that reminder, because that's something that I need to do a little bit more often. So a little bit more about you just personally. What is something that brings joy? Sandy, what's something that brings you joy?
My family, obviously, but also the people that I surround myself with in sports. Sports take up your whole life, like practice, games on the weekend, anything else. Like people know you through those connections. And I think having a support system in them on and off the court is going to be huge. And that's what brings me joy.
Wow. Maren, what about you? What brings you joy?
It's probably my best friends and I. Like, they play softball, so we don't even like see each other hardly in the fall. But anytime we do, just being able to go and hang out with them, go get lunch, go watch a movie, just being able to spend time with them and catch up with them is always my favorite thing to do.
Awesome. So I want to know your favorite moment growing up to this point. I'm going to say your favorite high school moment. What is something that when you leave, you're going to be like, that's going to stick with me forever. I'm going to tell that story 20, 30 years from now when you're more seasoned. Your favorite high school moment that's appropriate, that can't, the statute of limitations is still going. So Shandy, we'll start with you.
Making it to state for the first time in 14 years for East volleyball.
Wow.
That was huge for us. It was great, and for Ging's first time as a coach, so it was amazing.
What were the components and characteristics that you think that helped that happen with that team?
The family relationship that we had and the support systems that we had for one another, and Ging leading us, but also the players leading us through it too. Like, you can be a good team with a great coach, but you can be a great team with great leaders players.
Powerful. Appreciate that. Maren, what about you?
Making our district final last year for volleyball. Crete, we haven't always been on the up, but our coach, she's 5 years in now, and she's focused on building that culture, turning our program around, and being able to be a part of the people who have done that is always going to be something in my mind that comes from high school.
Awesome. So what are you looking forward to with this season? It just started. You played one game. During the break, we talked a little bit. You've got some Class A teams on your schedule. So what are some things that you're looking forward to in this season? Not just record, but just as a team growth.
I think just showing people where we're at. We're building from last year for sure, and just taking those giant steps, being able to go past just the district final, maybe qualify for state, and being able to just put Crete volleyball back on the map for what we are.
Fantastic. Shandy, what about you?
Same for us. We're starting with a bunch of brand new girls to varsity, and I think it's going to be huge to build that family back up and finally get those connections down and make it far this year.
So both of you are seniors. You talked about, obviously these goals that you have. What is that leadership? What is that going to take from you all as leaders, as kind of the elder statespeople of the team?
I think it's just going to be it's going to be good for the younger ones to learn from us, because we have a lot of new girls on this team, and I think them learning from us and me also learning from them is going to be a huge part of this. So we are able to bounce back off of each other and learn those good things that we can bring to the table.
Awesome. Maren.
I'd say just like for us, leading by example, showing them just putting a ball away, showing them hey, even in practice, going and starting to shag, and just kind of showing them what Crete volleyball is about, and how what you need to do to be successful.
So 3 words or 1 sentence that you want to give this community. 3 words or 1 sentence you want to give this community.
Do the right thing.
Oh, we got a poster for that too. Go ahead, Spike Lee. Go ahead. Do the right thing. I like that. Why is that?
Because there was an instance that one of my teachers told me about, how there was a problem in the hallway and he helped fix it. And a student was walking by and he was curious. He's like, why did you do that? And he said it was the right thing to do. And the student was like, oh, okay. And it finally made him realize you can do more than just what you need to do and what you are meant to do. Do the right thing.
Wow, that's powerful. Maren.
Support each other. We're all in this together. We all need a little bit, all need people to lean on. And so just be there for everybody, even every day, sports, any event, just be there and support each other.
So as we get ready to close and you get ready to leave, give me 3 words or 1 sentence that you want people to know about Shandy.
Oh, I'd say calm in the chaos, but energetic when it's needed.
Say that again. I like that.
Calm in the chaos, but energetic when it's needed.
Okay. I like that.
Dedicated to what I do.
Where are people going to see that from you?
I think in probably volleyball and basketball, I've been putting the work in. I've been long nights, early mornings, and that's finally kind of starting to show through, and just me being dedicated to those mornings, those nights is what it's going to show.
Awesome. Hey, I want to thank both of you, Shandy, Marin. Shandy over at East High School. If you get a chance to watch this scholar, she's absolutely phenomenal. Marin, same thing out at Crete. You and your parents really appreciative. 93.7 The Ticket, bigger than the score. In closing, yesterday was the 60th anniversary of the March on Washington. Many people remember it for Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King's closing speech, John Lewis. But I think as we talked about volleyball in Nebraska, it's important to understand that women galvanized the March on Washington. Among them, change agents including Fannie Lou Hamer, Ella Baker, Rosa Parks, and Gloria Richardson fought on both local and national platforms for racial progress. And so as we go into this week, continue that kindness, equity, justice, and civility, and doing the right thing. We'll be back next week on 93.7 The Ticket, bigger than the score.
There's a buzz in the